how many keywords do you put in a campaign and how do you structure those keywords within a campaign? One thing I'm going to start off by saying is people, like to turn Amazon into a mythical creature, because I think it's a lot more easy to understand. And when you feel like things are out of control, it's easier to say, hey, we don't know what's going on. And one of those areas is the amount of keywords you put in a campaign. So you'll see 12 keywords is the magic number. We've seen it 5x our performance, and not quite how it works. One thing to consider when you're trying to figure out how to put keywords into a campaign or how many is what your budget is. So if you have a $10 a day budget and 100 keywords in a campaign, that math doesn't math. You're not going to be able to collect data on all of your keywords. So what's going to happen is you're only going to have 1 to 2 keywords collecting data and the rest are dead in the water. Yep. So we typically do less than 30, even with our brands that are spending millions of dollars a month, just for the sake of structurally, it's going to allow us to control bids on a very, very granular level. This campaign's performing well, let's increase budgets, because budgets are on the campaign level. They're not on the keyword level, right? So I'm a believer in for ranking and things like that, single keyword campaigns. So I have direct control and I can view Amazon as a billboard. Hey, for this keyword, I'm winning top of search impression share 90% of the time. We're only focusing on bidding as much as possible. So again, it's a if then that statement. But at the end of the day, it's not as so much about the number of keywords you put in the campaign, but the goals you're trying to optimize for. If I'm running a ton of long tail keywords that I scrape from my sponsor product auto campaigns, then I may do, 30 to 40 and just this campaign's for profitability only. I'm going to let bid management do its job. If I'm running for market share, it's going to be a different campaign. If I'm running for competitor targeting, it's going to be a different campaign. We will sometimes vet those by volume. But again, that's due to budget. If I'm bidding on protein, I'm going to need thousands of dollars a day to bid on protein. I shouldn't mix in vegan protein for women because that's going to have a different amount of budget it's going to need. Anything else on that?
You said it in the beginning, it depends. And without going too crazy on everything, I think you nailed it. I would just say, in my experience, I've had, we're talking about protein, for example, $1,000 or $5,000 daily budgets, right? Literally. And if you have 1,000 keywords, and my only thing that I'm going to add to this is that a good thing to do is to take a look at, all right, I've got 100 keywords in this campaign and I've got this much budget, and just go take a look at your last 30 days, last 60 days, what's not getting impressions, and look at those terms, and maybe they're irrelevant and that's why they're not getting impressions, or maybe you don't have enough budget to spread around. That's one way to test it. Yeah, or bids too low. There's a lot of things. Cool.
Where that breaks off into another conversation that was asked is to, I would say, granular categorization. Industry standard, especially on your side of the industry, Kyle, I would say is branded, category, auto, competitor. And that's
and then other, and then everyone has an other. It's ranking or play to win. Yeah, all sorts of weird stuff.
Bucketed really generally. That's probably industry standard. We personally probably go a lot more granular than that in terms of our setup, because like Kyle said, it's expensive. I mean, we've ran campaigns that have $50,000 a day budgets on Prime Day, and they're still not maximizing all the traffic opportunity. So we have to get super, super precise with where we want our budget to flow. So we have ranking campaigns for one ASIN rank campaign, one ASIN branded, one ASIN non-branded, one ASIN competitor targeting, one ASIN profitability. Then you start layering in SPV, sponsored display, category targeting. It expands really, really quickly. So we covered the generalization, but then we personally break out campaigns into a more granular fashion. So that way, when I have my budget, I can say I want 10% to go to rank. I want 15% of my budget to go to brand protection, 30% towards profitability to balance out my overall A costs, and then 5% to this competitor because I know he increased his prices and we're going to win, like that fashion. But you can only do that with good campaign setup and naming. And Kyle can share, we don't need to screen share it now. He has really good slides on just some recommendations on that setup and naming, but good naming in Amazon's what's going to allow you to distribute your budget. as everyone knows, Amazon's not great at that. You have budget on the campaign level, but if you have good granular setup, you can then say, I want percentage of my budget here, here, and here, and keep it really concise.